Welcome to the Wildtype Podcast. I'm Neptune and Chameleon.
I'm Lyssa Lizards.
And we're your reptile girlies. Happy love season?
Love season. It's absolutely love season.
Valentine's, February, the
Valentine's,
season of
whatever
hearts,
you celebrate.
Pink, last
Cupid.
minute dinner reservations.
Cupid's arrow,
Yeah.
roses,
Chocolate?
chocolates.
Chocolate.
We know that's your favorite. I've actually never asked you this. I feel like I know this answer. Are you you're definitely more of you would rather get like some like specialty chocolates than like flowers, right?
No, I want both.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay. I thought you were about to say, no, I don't want flowers at all. And I was like, really?
No, I had this conversation with my boyfriend recently because this is our very first Valentine's.
Oh, I literally
Uncharted
forgot.
waters.
I literally forgot it was y'all's first Valentine's Day.
Uncharted waters.
See, in my brain, y'all have just been dating for like well over a year. So I completely forgot.
We were coming up on all of our like milestones, anniversaries, right? Of like, when did we match?
Yeah.
And I'm convinced for any of my single reptile girlies, guys, whoever, dating open season starts February 15th.
Absolutely.
And that was my mindset last year.
Yeah.
Because you're coming off the holidays where everyone's like busy. No one's really like trying to meet up.
Nobody's trying to get serious because nobody's trying to have to buy another present for somebody right
you're, like,
after Christmas season.
Visiting your
holiday
family,
season.
and then you're like going to New Year's, which is very couple-y.
Yeah.
Valentine's is like couple-y.
I, for one, am hibernating at the end of January, early February. I don't come out of hiding.
So unless you're dating by like October, November, December, January, and February are just going to be really tough. Not impossible, just tough. So I'm convinced.
It's hard to like find anybody to like be committed during that time. And,
But
like,
the day after Valentine's Day, you don't have any major holidays. The weather's starting to warm up soon. You're like, you're coming out of your hibernation. You're reading, you're like, I'm going to put myself back out there. So like end of February is actually when I matched with my boyfriend.
I fully thought that it was March.
No, our first date was in March.
Okay, that's why I thought
But we matched at the end of February. And so anyways, this is our first Valentine's.
Mm-hmm.
And remember the episode we did where it's like, if you don't ask for it, then you can't be like mad at the person.
100%.
So we're like talking, I was like, do we want to do gifts for Valentine's Day? Yeah. Like we have like a dinner reservation. And I was like, okay, but like, is there anything else we want to do? And I was like, there's two things that I want. One, I want to be explicitly asked, will you be my Valentine?
Yeah.
I don't want to be assumed. I don't want you to just like think it's there without saying. No. I want like you to explicitly
bring me flowers and ask me to be your Valentine.
Yes, either by words or write it down. And then the second thing I said, I was like, and I want flowers.
Yeah.
And then I was like, third, suggested but not required is chocolate.
Mm-hmm. This makes sense.
It's really required.
Well, yeah, no, it's definitely. I mean,
if I had to pick two though, I would want flowers. And
also
then
like
to be asked.
If anybody knows you, like literally at all, they would know to get you chocolates.
Yeah.
Like, hello. It's kind of what we do here. Like, I'm funny with like the flowers of it all. Like I definitely want flowers. Like absolutely. Logan, if you don't get me flowers, like that's a problem. He knows that.
It's also not his first Valentine, so he knows how this goes.
Knows. I am not a big rose person. I think they're pretty, but they are certainly not my favorite kinds of flowers to get. Like I like, colorful flowers. I don't really like super uniform flowers. And to me, red roses are very uniform and they're beautiful. But like Valentine's Day is really the only time that I'm like, I could go for some roses. Like I could be okay with some roses. But otherwise, if you get me roses on like not Valentine's Day, I'm kind of like.
How do you feel about like not red roses, like colorful roses? Because I feel like those are in a little bit of a different category.
Yeah, I think it depends. Like, I think yellow ones to me, like yellow roses to me scream like, and please nobody take offense to this. This is just my opinion. We weren't even planning on talking about this. It just happened. But like yellow roses to me feel very like familial.
They are the color for friendship. Like different colored roses stand for different things.
Oh, I didn't even know this.
So red is romance, yellow is friendship. I don't know any other ones
See,
besides,
to me-
besides those two. But yellow is friendship.
To me, yellow to me definitely feels like friendship, or like your grandmother gave you some flowers, or like this is kind of more somebody died.
But they are,
Those are
they
my-
do have a platonic,
Yes.
because
yes.
obviously friendship would be more platonic than red is the more romantic. Yeah.
I think for me, like, if I'm going to get roses, I would like for them to be like the deep red. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't really like white roses. That also feels very like funeral to me. Like, I don't really like the yellow ones. Pink ones feel a little cheesy to me. It's like, I don't know. I think,
Red or bust.
yeah, I think I'm kind of a red or bust kind of rose gal for some reason. But
That's good.
anyhow.
But yes, so excited for that. Also, speaking of like announcements and stuff, we will be going to expos.
Woo! March is a heavy expo month for us, for
Back
most
to
people.
back.
Yeah, back to back. We basically got a double feature of expos going on.
Yes.
First up, we have NARBC Dallas.
Yep.
And then right after, literally the immediate following weekend, we will be getting on another plane and going to NARBC Tenley.
Yes, we have, I think it's like the 7th and 8th is Dallas, and then like the 14th, 15th,
Yep.
give or take. But it's like the second weekend and third weekend,
Yeah.
right in the middle of March. We'll be in Dallas. We'll have a booth for both locations.
Yes.
So please come high. Please come high. Please come by and say hi.
Bye and say hi. Yes, exactly.
We will also be selling our Wild Type Podcast merch. So you can get the shirt that I'm wearing, the Nails and Scales pink shirt.
Mine
that
is
one,
the in my reptile mom era, but this one's
We're
old.
out.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have this one, but you can get it online.
yes.
So
Then we only have 2 sizes left of our like
Yeah.
in-person stock.
yeah,
So those will probably be gone quickly. But
yeah.
you
But
can
you
get,
can get it online.
yeah, you can get it online. You can also get them in like hoodies and stuff like that too.
The online shop always has like a lot more options. There's more that
And there's colors,
Yeah.
and then more sizes available. But still, please come and buy them in person because
Yeah.
they're currently all in my garage, and we do need to
We need to move
find
that
new
inventory.
homes. Find new homes for them.
We want them to be adopted by
Yes.
our reptile girly friends.
Please adopt
Adopt a shirt.
But yeah, so we'll post more details on our Instagram as
Yes.
we kind of know exactly where our booth's going to be located, but want to give you guys advanced heads up, so then you can kind of like plan your weekends accordingly.
We're very excited. I know last time we went to Tenley, we had a lot of you guys come out and say hi, and it meant so much to us. Tenley last year was like such an amazing experience. So I'm very,
last
very.
year? Oh, March last year.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Because last year.
because we had just started dating, and then I went to Tinley, and I was like trying to explain.
Oh
what I was
my
doing.
God, I forgot that was going on during Tenley. That's why I had March in my head. Because I remember when we were at Tenley, you were like, well, I haven't texted him and like, I need to do that.
And you're like, "Don't respond."
And I was like, it's fine. You're fine. You're busy. He should know that. And he
But it is kind of
definitely does.
like, can you handle early on if you're not like
Yeah.
constantly? Anyways, obviously it all worked out.
Yeah, everything's fine.
But it was like, I'm like, and how do I explain like how big of a like thing this is?
How do I explain that I'm going to be so slammed busy and I'm going to be on my phone 24/7 for an entire weekend, but also simultaneously not able to text you much?
Yeah, that.
How do I tell a man that? How do I tell anybody that?
Yes. I'm like, my phone is dead, but not because
Sorry.
I was texting you.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, in other announcements, and I promise we'll get into like
The actual
the
episode.
is nail updates, because we totally didn't do that last
Oh, I
episode.
literally forgot about our nail updates. Yes, we are very, very behind on that.
Yeah.
Mine are very cute, but very, very simple right now. Mm-hmm. Do we want me to go first?
Yes, take it away.
All right. So we basically have like a nude cat eye, which I know sounds very unlike me. So like, I am okay. I just had a really big,
I am okay.
I had a really, really big work event going on in January. And it was like going to be like the first time that I was like meeting a lot of people that work in my company from like across the country. And so I was like, I don't really want to show up with my like craziest nails, you know?
You just go for it.
I mean, I was wearing my cute outfits. I had my new haircut. I was wearing like lipstick and like fun shoes. Like I was very much showing personality, but I didn't want to be like overkill, You know what I mean? Like my first
These are still
time,
very
like,
cute nails.
They are very cute.
They just, from a glance or from far
Look
away,
very subtle.
would not catch your eye, but up close, you'd be
Yes.
like, oh, those are...
Like, I have had a lot of people compliment them. I think because they
you just have to be like this close to you
exactly
to notice it. Yeah.
So basically it's like a nude cat eye, but then each one has slight 3D like little lines that have like the gold.
The isolated chrome.
Yes. Oh, thank you. Oh, that's such a fancy,
I watch a lot of nail videos.
That's a fancy way of putting that.
That's it. Isolated chrome.
I've never heard it called that. But so like each one has a little bit of like either like an arch or like a circle or whatever that has the isolated gold chrome.
Yes.
And it's really cute. So it's like I said, it's very, very cute, very,
They're
very
kind
simple
of giving
and
me
subtle.
like Greek Roman,
Yeah.
you know, like goddess kind of vibes with
I
like
can
the
so see
neutral
that.
palette, but with like
Yeah.
the detail gold,
Yeah.
kind of like squiggled throughout.
And I genuinely really love them. They're the perfect amount of like funky but not weird.
Yeah,
If that
yeah.
makes sense.
It's like equivalent of like a funky French.
yes, 100%.
Right? It's a funky cat eye.
100%.
But in a neutral color palette. So it's nice. Yeah.
So I'll go crazy next time. This time I went a little bit more subtle.
Mine aren't too crazy.
No, but I love these. I love these.
Yeah, these are very trendy right now. I've seen them all over my Instagram. But they are a blue cat eye. So it's got a black base with the blue sparkle and then a matte coating. And then on top of that, it's just clear gel.
Yeah.
But it's not even gel. It's like a clear top coat, like pinstripes on there. So they kind of have like
The pinstripes
stripey.
are really cool.
Yeah, because to your point too, and I said this on the pod, I wasn't going too crazy for my January nails, which is now technically February, but it's still January while we're recording. So I wanted to do something that was like interesting. So like doing the pinstripe, I think was like
No, they're
cool.
super cool.
But again, from a distance, wouldn't be like too crazy.
So the reason I love this is because I used to like in high school, my mom was actually like very, very cool and used to let me like dye little like pieces of my hair like underneath like fun colors. So like all the way in high school, I was doing like purple, blue, pink, red. Like I kind of did like all the basic colors. Ever since high school, I have always been so jealous of girls with pitch black hair who can dye like parts of it blue. Like the blue on black hair is something that I have been envious of forever. And your nails make me
totally embody that.
The black and blue contrast is like easily one of my favorite like color combos and has been forever. So I love these. I'm a big fan.
Big fan.
Big fan.
Yes.
So cute.
I think we probably have another couple weeks and then.
Yeah. I think I've got at least another 2 weeks on these.
We're going to have to, I feel like, our March nails.
Oh, yeah. We got to go ham in March for the expos. I might even make mine reptile themed for the month of March, honestly.
Or like pink and purple.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah. We might have to do some like.
I might see if Rosie can like whip out a lizard or a snake or something. Like I'm gonna see what she can do.
Back-to-back expos, baby.
Yeah. No, like we got to make it. We got to make it
And we
worthwhile.
like to take pictures with all you guys who have their nails. So
no, and last expo, my nails were so good, and I had just gotten them done. They were super fresh. They looked so cool. They had a snake on it. So like, we're gonna make sure that our March nails are cool.
Yeah.
So if you're coming to Tenley or Dallas, you better show up with your nails and let's get some pics.
Yes,
big fan. Let's do it.
And get yourself a Nails and Scales t-shirt.
Yeah, so cute. I love that one.
So speaking of Valentine's, love, reptiles, we're like, what do we want to talk about? And we're going to talk about mating. Reptile intercourse. This is a PG-13 podcast.
This is a PG-13 podcast. Mothers, if you are letting your, I don't know, under the age of like 12 children listen to this, maybe change
We're talking about reptiles, okay?
I know, I'm just teasing.
Yes. But it does get a little funky with the reptiles.
It can get a little intense. It can get a little dangerous at times.
Yes.
It can get a little precarious for our scaly friends, especially our reptile girlies, literally. It can get a little concerning for some of them. So
we kind of want to talk about let's just talk classic reptile mating behavior.
Yes.
Then we can go into
the details.
Kind of like the nuances. Classic reptile mating behavior. You have boy reptile, girl reptile who maybe kind of like flash some colors.
Yeah.
Right.
Showed off, we got like a frilled lizard situation going on. We've got some like
some head bobbing,
some reptile peacocking,
some
like,
noises that can happen, right? So they'll like strut their stuff, they'll mate, and then they'll just never see each other again.
Yeah.
Right? Then they have eggs or live birth, depending on the species. They hatch out and they're on their merry way. It is a very like transactional type of.
Well, like we talked about it recently, like reptiles are really like survivalists. That's like really what they're trying to do. And so
they can't spend time.
They can't waste time
putting
like
rose petals on the floor.
No, we
don't
got time for romance. We're trying to outlive the apocalypse, okay? Like
see that bird overhead? We gotta get this done.
We gotta get moving.
We gotta get this done. So that's typically how it happens. Then there's like this very subset and like a very small percentage of reptiles.
Very small.
That actually will stay together.
Yeah.
And will actually hang out in either like family units or like a monogamous type situation, which is so unique. Because the vast majority literally
they just
hit it and quit it.
Yeah. There's a lot of ghosting going on in the reptile kingdom, okay?
Like, there's been this, but see you never.
All sides. Everybody's ghosting everybody in the reptile world.
It is mutual.
Yes. Mutual ghosting.
But we did try to figure out like which species. The first one you had said, so I'll let you talk to us because I know this is a species you have your personal eye on.
Wait, is this is my favorite? Okay, so we've talked about this many a time, but my absolutely precious, wonderful baby monkey-tailed skinks.
Yep.
Well, this is actually one of my favorite things about them. It's one of the reasons I like want to have a pair of them one day is because I don't know if mating for life is the correct term because I don't know if they are like 100% truly monogamous, but they do stay in this family unit, and that is like the parents stay together and the parents protect the young, and that is again pretty unheard of and like rare in the reptile world.
Absolutely.
And so they very much like the parents will bond, the parents will mate, and then they raise the young together, and then they will have like usually multiples, and they'll even have like multiple sets of siblings, and that whole family unit will really stay together.
Yeah.
And so it's one of my favorite fun facts about that species. It's truly one of my favorite things about them, and the parents will get real defensive of those babies too.
But it's completely different because we don't typically see parents raising young or parents staying together for that matter, yet alone having a family unit. I have to imagine though, they have to bring in outside, like eventually either the babies have to like, you can't just like be inbreeding the whole time. So either you have to like, they grow and start their own little.
I don't know what that looks like, but I don't think it's just like a cyclical inbreeding family. I think they definitely.
Obviously, captivity is going to be, you only have so many skinks in one area, and then you have to manually introduce new bloodlines and family units.
This does make me want to do a little bit more research into their like actual
like wild type behavior.
Yeah, because the majority of like my research is based on their family units in captivity or in like breeding pairs or breeding trios or like whatever.
Yeah.
And so that's the majority of my knowledge. So I would be really curious about how they would do in the wild and like at what age would the young branch off? You know what I mean? Because I'm sure that that's like a part of their biology is like, at a certain point, the young are full adults. They're going to be looking for their own mates and all that stuff. Yeah. So I don't know what that timeline looks like for them and their like age and their family units and whatever. So now I'm a little curious. So if you know more about monkey-tailed skinks, like familial timelines and like what that looks like, I would be very curious to know.
Yes, let us know. We're always down to learn.
Yes.
Okay, another one that is monogamous is a shingleback lizard.
Yes.
Native to Australia, famous for its tough shingle-like scales and obviously monogamous behavior. As a type of blue-tongued skinks, it has a large head, a blunt tail that mimics its head to confuse predators, and a bright blue tongue used for defense. The omnivores are found in various habitats from woodlands to semi-arid regions and are known for forming long-term pairs, an unusual trait in reptiles.
Super cool. And if I'm correct, because I did like do a little bit of this research too, but they don't like stay together all the time. They literally like mate they go about their lives, like they'll come together for like a mating season, go about their lives, and then come back
That's how
annually
I
to the
understood
same
it too.
partner.
Yeah.
That's fascinating to me, because to like go out and like explore and do your thing, like that just feels crazy. Like, how do they find each other again? What does that look like? How do they?
I know. But like the idea of animals who remember their breeding grounds
Yeah.
though, and like migration patterns.
Right.
And then you think of like penguins who go off
Yes.
and then like come back to the same spot. Like I have a hard time remembering where I parked my car.
Yeah. No,
Get along. Like,
so the reason I'm so kind of like mind boggled by this is because I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, let's imagine humans hundreds of years ago.
we would die hundreds of years ago. Like,
That's what I'm
it just
saying.
wouldn't
You can't
happen.
tell me that a man across the country or like across the state is going to be like, yup, it's that time of year. I'm going to go meet Lyssa. How would they do that? That just wouldn't happen. And I mean, I'm sure throughout history it's happened a handful of times.
I mean, you have long
I'm like,
distance relationships.
I know, but that's with cell phones and the internet. What about pre that? Is what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
how like our human natural instincts don't even work like that.
No.
So the fact that like
Because we were communal, right? Like
Right.
we have
we stay in our little villages,
our caves.
Yes.
You know, we just kind of
Yes.
hunker down and we'll like move as a unit.
Right. But what I'm saying is like humans don't have migratory mating behaviors like
No.
that. It boggles my mind that some little reptile
No, and
in
our
Australia has
geographical
that.
like capabilities are also very limited.
Very. But it just blows
Yes.
my mind that the little shingleback skinks are capable of this.
Yeah.
I'm highly impressed.
I do want to know though, this is Mother Nature. What if your shingleback little lady friend
What if she
or
dies?
That's yep.
Do they just go and wait in sadness?
You're like a widow.
Like,
Just like,
I'm so curious, like at what point do they decide, okay, she must be gone or he must be gone.
and then
Let's
do you
find a new
mate, right?
I'm so
What we need to do
curious.
is bring on a shingleback. Like an
Yes.
actual
like
excuse me.
hold up like our little mini mic and be like, ma'am, we would like all of your answers for the reptile girlies. Yeah, I'm just very curious. I just think it's super interesting. And I mean, nature just always
1,000%.
astounds me.
Yeah. So those were like the two big ones.
Yeah.
Monkey tail skinks, shingleback lizards,
Mm-hmm.
as far as like reptiles that kind of stay together.
Yeah. Yeah. Then there are, and is this where you were going to go next into the pair bonding? So there's another variation of like reptile monogamy, right? It's not true monogamy, but like similar to how like, bunnies, rabbits will like pair and they will like be like emotionally bonded and like hard to separate and they'll like lean on each other. Like that's something that rabbits do. So in reptiles, they also have the ability to pair bond with a mate. And that doesn't necessarily mean that like they are 100% monogamous to that other animal. But especially in like captive breeding, this happens a lot where like there are many species, and we'll talk about those ones, but there are many species that like you have to make sure that like you find a partner for this animal that is agreed upon. The animals
like
have
they're
to agree upon
compatible.
it. Yeah, like the animals have to be compatible. They have, and some of these species are very selective.
Right. The females often are the ones who have to be
Are in
receptive,
charge. Yeah.
right, and are accepting of the mate. And if
Which I
not,
would argue is the case with all animals, including humans.
but if that isn't received,
Right.
or then things can get like a little dicey, which is different than again the
Totally.
classic scenario that I described, where it's like male, female, they come together,
Right.
Like now the female can decide she's not receptive for one reason or another. There are some pairings that just don't
Don't work.
work.
I mean,
–
Venus and Neptune.
yeah. But it did work
One time.
eventually. And have a lot of babies.
Yes.
But the female's not always receptive. You also have to like be at the right point in her like cycle, as
yeah.
well, which some reptiles are easier to tell when they're receptive than others, where you're just kind of like guessing. You kind of don't know until you put them together and you're
Right.
like, okay, we
Yeah.
are not ready yet.
Nope.
So anyways, pair bonding is a little bit different in that
Yes.
regard because it isn't so like black and white. It is
Right.
a little bit of this gray area where
Yeah.
like they do have to be receptive, and then typically breeders will keep them together
Yes.
for longer term versus the traditional scenario
Mm-hmm.
where they will mate. Maybe keep them together a little bit so they can mate a couple times, just
Yeah.
kind of like make sure it sticks.
Yeah.
And then you separate them and like
Yeah.
that's that versus cohabitating them for a longer duration for the breeding process.
So the first species that comes to mind for pair bonding for me is Leachianus geckos, right? So anybody who knows anything about leechies can know, they can be a little frisky, they can be a little feisty, they can be
Very vocal too.
very, very, very vocal. Lots of clicks, lots of chirps going on, lots of talking. And I actually remember that from Yoda, from having my lychee back in the day. She was very, very, like, I would just randomly hear her at night just making all these different crazy noises and different clicks and different things. And they're such a cool species. But if the female's not feeling it, she's not going to feel it. And she is going to make sure that poor little male Leachianus is well aware that she doesn't want him anywhere up in their space. They will fight. And as like a breeder, if you're a lychee breeder and you're like trying to bond a pair or pair a bond or whatever, if you're trying to do that, you have to be like ready to take that animal out at any point because that girl will kill that guy. And you gotta be real careful about that.
And the violence with breeding is not unique to
No.
lychees, right? Like
very
chameleons can
common.
actually be incredibly violent. Like typically I see with like lizards,
Yeah.
not so much. I don't know much about snake breeding, to be honest, but
Snake breeding is interesting because I know little to nothing about snake breeding, so anything I'm wrong about, just let me know in the comments. But snake breeding is really interesting because they kind of just like follow each other and are kind of like twitchy and just kind of follow each other and twitch and twitch and twitch until they line up and then their tails are in the right spot and then they just kind of wrap up. So there's not as much like,
I feel like not as much movement, right? And
Yeah.
engagement.
Right.
And like the kind of like
I think there's a lot of movement, but there's not a lot of,
courting.
I was going to say pinning down, which is a really aggressive way of saying that.
Yeah.
But that is kind of what lizards do, is like the male lizard tends to kind of like pin the female into the right like spot or position.
Yeah.
And it can get a little intense.
Yeah, we see this oftentimes. I think the most classic example is crested geckos. If you've seen any courting mating behavior, also very vocal.
Very vocal.
In that process. But the males will literally bite the
On
female's
on
head.
the crest
Yeah.
too, like on the kind of arrow shape, like
Yeah,
on the
on the
outer-
kind of corner
Yeah.
of their head. They will literally bite them, to your point, pin them down,
Yep.
right? Again, do the deed, and then they go on their
Merry way.
Their merry way. You also have oftentimes with reptile species, males are significantly larger than
Yes.
females. Not always. We already talked about how like a lot of snakes, the females are bigger
Yeah.
than the males. But again, sticking with the lizards,
Yes.
males are oftentimes bigger than the females. So you also have a size dichotomy,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where the males are typically having to get on top of the female. You know, you can use your imagination. But then they're like way bigger
Yeah.
than these like very dainty little
Little baby girls,
little lady lizards.
or little ladies.
Right. And so there's just like you just
Especially with chameleons, it's really sad.
and they're just kind of like their head, like they're maybe like a foot on their
Yeah.
head that's just kind of like there, and they're just like, yep, this is good, this is
We're
fine.
kind of just like talking about a lot of the reasons why I never want to breed my animals.
Yeah, but all that to
So-
say is like it is not sunshine
No.
and rainbows.
No.
It's so easy to see the pairings and it's so easy to see the amazing, beautiful babies.
Yeah.
But like it can get pretty violent.
Wow,
And there
yeah.
can be deaths in
Oh yeah.
in reptile breeding.
Absolutely. It happens more often than people talk about.
Yes.
And that's kind of like a harsh reality of breeding when it comes to all that. But another species that I would say is interesting in this regard is blue-tongued skinks. So they are also very much can be violent, very much can be aggressive, like all of that is very much the case with blue-tongued skinks. But what I find really interesting, and again, tell me if I'm wrong, but from what my research, my experience with Nilla, and experience with vets and different things, like blue tongue skinks are really kind of hard to tell the gender if you aren't literally putting two in a box and seeing how they interact with each other. So like it's really, there's not a lot of huge visual differences between the males and the females. And, you know, breeders will tell you like, oh, like the female heads are shaped a certain way, or, oh, like the tail length is, you know, greater. But from my knowledge, my research, and from what I've heard from different breeders and things, like all of those things that different breeders will say are not always 100% foolproof, right? So like you can sit there and guesstimate, you know, oh, this one's a male, this one's a female. But from what I've heard, truly the only way to know with blue tongue skinks if it is a male and a female is either A, you're seeing sperm plugs in the enclosure, or you're not. In my case, I'm 98% sure that Nilla is a girl because I've never found a sperm plug. But that's one way to tell. Or you just put two of them together and see how they react, because you can tell from that reaction whether one's a male, one's a female.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And so I find that really interesting because you got to kind of figure it out in like this guessing game way.
Yeah. But another species that can get a little violent, and if I remember correctly, also will kind of like bite their partner
100%.
in the situation.
We're so excited to introduce the Reptile Girlies to our favorite reptile-friendly coffee and tea brand, Cold Blooded Caffeine. Our favorite thing about them is that they donate 5% of all their proceeds to wildlife conservation to ensure reptiles and amphibians have a place to call home in the wild, as well as in our homes.
And if you know me, you know I'm obsessed with herbal teas. So for any of our fellow tea lovers, they source some of the highest quality loose leaf teas in the world.
Cold Blooded Caffeine offers a wide variety of coffee like their Rainforest Blend, single origin options, and collaborations with some of the biggest names in the reptile world.
For 25% off your first order, use code WILDTYPE at coldbloodedcaffeine.com. Are you looking for a new enclosure for one of your reptile babies? Be sure to check out Cages with a K. Each enclosure is made to order by their team in Minnesota, which means they can even do custom builds.
The enclosures are made from high-quality PVC with tempered glass doors, allowing for superior heat and humidity retention. They offer screen tops, side vents, and belly heat customization options to ensure the ideal setup for any environment.
So whatever dream home you want built, Cages has you covered. Use code WILDTYPE50 to get $50 off any order over $300 at reptilecages.com. You guys have been following us long enough to know how much we love the BioDude. The BioDude makes it easy to bring high-level husbandry home with bioactive kits for bearded dragons, ball pythons, dart frogs, tarantulas, and of course chameleons. They're a one-stop shop for all things bioactive terrarium, from the leaf litter to natural decor to isopods and more.
My personal favorite are the plants, of course, and I don't forget to get my UVBs while I'm there.
And I've been using the Terra Firma substrate for years for so many of my different reptile species.
Lastly, the BioDude has a huge free resource library with care sheets and bioactive terrarium guides at thebiodude.com. You know a question I get asked all the time?
What?
Where can I get some wood for my reptiles enclosure?
Oh, we hear this all the time.
Well, you're in luck, because Pangea has just released some new Malaysian driftwood.
It's a highly variable driftwood with a high tolerance to moisture, so it's great for reptiles, amphibians, even aquatic enclosures. Pangea will be offering it in small and medium sizes, with large coming soon.
This can be a really great option if you don't live in an area where natural branches are available, or perhaps you're just looking for some high quality wood for your enclosure. Head on over to PangeaReptile.com and get yourself some branches.
Okay, Neptune, what are your top 2 feeder bugs for all your critters?
Dubious for protein, and black soldier fly larvae for lots of calcium.
Simpton offers a wide variety of insects like silkworms, dubia roaches, waxworms, and our favorites, black soldier fly larvae.
I've also heard the entomologists at Simpton have customized the diet of their black soldier fly larvae to maximize their calcium content, so there's no need to dust them with calcium.
So if you're interested in trying them out, use code TheWildType at SimptonBSF.com for 15% off your order.
Speaking of sperm plugs, though, kind of like a milestone.
Oh, yeah.
Triton. So one of the babies, baby number 1 that I've like held back, I found a little sperm.
You did?
In his enclosure. And I'm like, how gross. But I'm also like,
how cool.
So proud of you.
You're a man now.
That's how it felt. I'm like, oh, you're growing up.
You're a grown boy.
Well, I'm like, that's disgusting. And we will clean that.
So gross.
Immediately.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew.
But it was a mixed. I was like, oh, you're not a baby anymore.
Oh, man. Flashback to the time that a vet told me that my very obviously male panther chameleon was a female and didn't believe me when I told him that he was wrong until I said that I had found sperm plugs. I was like, yeah, no, I know he's a male.
The colors didn't give it away.
The colors didn't give it away. The everything didn't give
The hemipenal bulge didn't give it away.
Like nothing. Like, anyway, I'm not bitter.
But also exciting, I have been able to ship out a few more babies to their new homes. It's kind of hard during like the cold season, so I have a few more that are kind of like on hold. They have homes, but they haven't like gone to their new home. So we are now officially like starting to find homes for the second clutch, which is very exciting. So yeah, it's just been a lot of fun. So if you don't follow my like individual account, like that's where I've been posting all the baby updates and transformations, and if you are still interested in a baby, like truly fill out an application.
Please,
we can chat. But yeah, it's been.
Have you thought about what it's going to be like when they're all gone?
I've started thinking about, do I want to do this again? Of like seriously contemplating like.
Oh my God, I'm so shocked to hear you say this. I thought the answer would be absolutely no. Do you want to do it again?
I haven't decided. I'm doing some reflection.
Not to put you on the spot. I'm just like,
no,
wow.
I'm in the reflective, like now that I'm kind of coming towards the end of all of this, and I'll reach a point where like people will be reaching out for babies, and I'm like, they've all gone, all found their homes. So I'm like, ooh, do I want to like do this again? And like Triton is growing up. You know, like
give it another year and he'll be ready.
Less than.
Yeah, oh, I know.
You know, probably a couple months max, and I could probably breed him. I could probably breed him now if I really wanted to. Like he's pretty big now. But I'm like, ooh, do I want to do this? I have to get a different female, right? And then it's like, okay, it's a whole year. Oh, sorry, microphone. A whole year, just for like the incubation process and everything else. So I'm like, okay, that like where do I want to? Anyway, so we're doing some soul searching. I also don't know where my life's gonna be.
This is just so funny to me because I'm sitting over here like, you couldn't pay me to do any of that. No, thank you. So I'm just like, I'm over here like, you would do it again? Because I know how much you've been through, and I know how traumatizing some of it was. I'm like, you would willingly sign. I am like shook.
But it's so rewarding, and talking to the people who are like interested in having a baby.
And this is why you are the optimist on this podcast. You have like forgotten all of the bad, and I'm over here like, you're doing this again.
But I haven't forgotten, which is why I have not committed. I am evaluating
this is fair.
The pros and cons.
This is fair.
Now I've been through it of like, would I want to?
A key difference between us.
You're like, you wouldn't be in this position in the first place.
No, I would never have even started.
Yeah. So anyways.
Well, I'm very excited for you, and I'm very proud of you, and I'm very happy for all the babies and their new homes and everybody and all the Neptune babies out there. I'm very, very happy, and I'm a proud auntie over here.
Yes.
So
it's good. It's good. Okay. Moving right along. Next topic, because you know us, we like to do like, well, we gab in the beginning.
Yes.
And then
we gab, and then we get structured.
And then we have some reptile-focused topic.
Yes.
And then we have something completely not related to reptiles.
Nothing to do with reptiles.
So today's topic is, how soon is too soon to say I love you?
The big L.
In the spirit of Cupid and Valentine's and love season and everything else. But before we get into this, I do want to do like a quick PSA that this time of year is also when everyone likes to flaunt their relationships.
Yeah.
In like, no shade, I will absolutely be posting a picture of like the flowers I get in some probably like cutesy Instagram story. Here for it. However, I've also been single for a lot of Valentine's Day, and I've also been in relationships on Valentine's Day where I was like, it was not sunshine and rainbows. I think sometimes it's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of like everyone's wonderful, happy sunshine and rainbow relationships around Valentine's Day.
It's super easy this time of year if you're not in a relationship or you're not seeing anybody or you're not married or like whatever the case may be. Like, it's really easy to look around and be like, wow, everybody's happy but me.
And even if you are in a relationship, because maybe you are,
that too,
but it's not like a happy, healthy,
or
it's
like,
or you're just in a tough spot, right? And you're like, you guys will make it through, but like you're just kind of in the trenches,
or you have to end it, and you're just waiting till after Valentine's Day. Been there.
All my breakups are before Valentine's Day because I do not want to do that. But
I'll never forget being 16 and crying because I didn't want to go to my Valentine's date with my
I think we
boyfriend.
talked about it last year.
We did. I'm still thinking about it.
Listen back to that.
10 or 15 years later, I'm still thinking about it.
But it can be tough though. So just like from us to you, like one, we see you, but also two, like that's not always reality.
Yeah.
And you don't know what's happening behind
Yeah.
closed doors. And so just like know your truth and your worth
Yeah.
and like your relationship. And it's such a human thing to compare.
Don't get caught up in the comparisons though,
Yeah.
because honestly, just because they look happy doesn't mean that you would be happy in that relationship.
Yeah. Or that they are
Or that they
happy.
are actually
Maybe they
happy.
are though. I don't know. But
I mean,
like, yeah.
some people project, people are real. People are negative when they shouldn't be. Like, you never know what's actually going on. And
Exactly.
social media is like such a highlight reel. And I think it's just, you just can't assume that everybody else is in a better position than yours and like dog on your own situation.
Yes.
Like, you can't operate like that, you know?
I just need to say that because as someone like
Yeah.
on the internet, like who likes to look at everyone's Instagram
It's also
stories.
your
it can be
first
tough.
Valentine's Day in a long time that you're not in that position. So you want to like, I don't know, just make sure that everybody else who
Yeah.
is still in that position, like doesn't feel a type
That's
of
what
way.
I'm saying. Whether you're single or in a relationship, we are
Yeah.
human at the end of the day, and it can be so easy. And no one's posting all their crap
Yeah.
on the internet, right? I get it. So
Have I told you what
What?
I think Logan and I might be doing around Valentine's Day this year?
Hmm.
I don't think I have, and I wasn't planning on saying this on the pod, but now I'm saying it on the pod. So our courthouse anniversary is like right before Valentine's Day, and we did that on purpose. So we kind of every year on Valentine's Day kind of like celebrate our courthouse anniversary.
are you getting matching tattoos?
I think so. I'm really excited. I know I've told you that we've like kind of wanted to do that, but I think I'm going to get like a little cursive L on my hand, and I think he's going to get a little cursive A on his hand, kind of like in the place where like our hand, like we hold our hands, which is super cheesy and like really mushy and kind of gross and like very not my usual MO, but I'm excited. So I think I'm going to be making that appointment in the next week. And so not to like jinx it, but I'm pretty sure that that's what we're going to be doing. We've been talking about it for like a year. And
Yeah.
so I think we're going to just bite the bullet and do it for our third courthouse anniversary.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So anyway.
You had not told me, but I obviously was able to guess it. So.
You knew that we were like, that was
Yeah.
something that
Yeah,
we were
yeah, you had
wanting to
talked
do.
about and stuff,
Yeah. So
For sure.
Yeah. So I think that's what we'll be doing for Valentine's Day this year.
I will not be getting matching tattoos with my significant other on our very first Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that would be crazy. This is technically Logan and I's 6th Valentine's Day together. So
Yeah. It's not me.
not the first. Yeah, definitely don't do matching tattoos on your first. Or do. I don't care. I would
Speaking
be
of
scared.
though, like how soon is too soon, right? Of like just because it doesn't make sense for your relationship does not mean it doesn't make sense for someone else's relationship.
I have opinions, but sure.
So, how soon is too soon to say I love you?
Yes.
Let's just take a quick tally. How long were you and Logan dating before you said I love you?
We had known each other for over a year before, but we had been officially dating for probably close to like 8 to 10 months. I don't remember the exact, but it was around. We had been dating for we had been dating officially for about 8 or 9 months when we finally said I love you, but we had known each other for over a year because we had like a 6-month like casually dating window before we like
We're
became
official.
official or
Yeah.
whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Because we also met during COVID. Nobody was trying to commit during COVID. You know what I mean?
You're like, the world might be ending.
Yeah. I also had a lot of commitment issues back in the day. So, you know, there's that factor too.
Yeah, I think we were 7 months,
Okay.
give or take,
Yeah.
right around there.
Yeah.
Which I would say both those are, well, actually, I was going to say above average, but I have my phone sitting here. And so I'm
so curious to know what the average is because,
What's your
again,
guess?
I have opinions.
Because my guess is like 3 to 4 months being average.
Oh, that feels so psycho. I'm so sorry to anybody who thinks that that's like their normal time frame. I
have so many
swear I'm
typos.
not judging. It's just for me personally. That's crazy.
Do you have any guesses though?
I'm guessing 5 to 6 months.
Okay. I keep typing stuff
Because
wrong.
that feels 5 to 6 months feels like a good time frame for me.
So it says AI for Google results. There's no single average, but many studies suggest 3 to 4 months is common, with men often saying it slightly earlier, around 3 months, than women around 3.5, 4 months. However, it varies widely, with some saying it within weeks and others taking longer. Experts recommend saying it when it feels right, usually after the initial infatuation settles into deeper feelings, often after 3 months.
Wow.
It says overall, many couples say between 3 to 6 months.
Oh, you know,
So I would say we're both above average
For
as
sure.
far as like
sure.
what the internet says.
For sure. I'm just sitting here like, wow, maybe my commitment issues were deeper than I thought. I'm like,
But hey, you made the big commitment,
I
and
did.
you're about to get possibly matching tattoos.
I would say that that's pretty committed. So
Just like
I think I've overcome
pretty
my
high.
problems. All right.
pretty high levels of commitment.
So here's my 2 cents. Statistically, and like, lots of studies, like whatever, say that when it comes to faking feelings or like faking a part of who you are, or like when you're dating and you're putting your best foot forward, you can only do that, like statistically, and like studies have shown that you can really only like fake or show like your best self without, parts of your worst self showing through. You can only do that for about 3 months. Like you really can't like pull the wool over somebody's eyes for more than 3 months. By the time the 3rd month comes around, like you are starting to see glimpses of who they really are outside of just like and I'm not saying that everybody puts on a front, but like a lot of people do. Okay?
I think a good way to put it is you're putting your best foot forward.
Yes.
Right? Which does take conscious effort, and you are trying your best. That's like when you're like quick cleaning your place before they come over
Yes.
versus just like
Yes.
let them see how it is. It's like choosing your words carefully when they
Yes.
ask you for your honest opinion on something. Like you're just being very thoughtful, considerate, and conscious
Yes.
versus being gut
100% yourself.
reactions, right? Or
Right.
just like you and your most natural, comfortable autopilot
Yeah,
state
totally.
versus like when the pilot's
Yes.
actually driving the plane. You're like, okay, I am consciously aware of where we're going.
Thank you for translating that for me, because that was not coming out of my mouth, but that was beautifully said.
But that's the gist of it. And you can only do
Yeah.
that for so long, to your
Yes.
point, because
Yes.
it is exhausting. It will take a toll.
Yeah.
You will eventually catch them on bad days,
Totally.
hardships, where you're not going to be able to put your
Yes.
best foot forward because you're just trying to like
Yes.
get through the day, whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
And statistically, that is like a 3-month window of like, by the time you've been dating somebody for 3 months, like statistically, you have really gotten to see more of who they are, and you've gotten to see glimpses into who they are behind closed doors, right? And so the way I look at it, I'm not telling anybody I love you until I know all the skeletons in their closet, right? Like,
Which takes time.
and that takes time, and that takes like, there's so much that you don't know about them. Like I'm the type where like, I'm also not going to drop I love you until I know their family. I'm not going to drop I love you until I've met most of their friends, because I'm a really big like, I'm a really big believer in like, you are the company that you keep. And I think getting to know the people that they keep in their life is really important. I think I personally prefer not to say it until after I've traveled with them and I know what that experience is like, even just like a little weekend trip, like things like that. Those for me personally are milestones that I want to hit and that I want to achieve before I can commit to telling somebody that I'm truly deeply in love with them, because I say I love you all the time. I'm a little bit of like, and I love you ho, I'll say it to anybody for the most part, right? Like I will say I love you to almost anybody as like a friend, because
Oh,
what?
you say I love you to me,
Yes.
but now you're saying you say it to everyone.
Oh my God, that's so dramatic. You know what I mean.
I don't feel as special anymore.
That is so dramatic, dude. Don't even. You know how much I love you. That's ridiculous.
I am being dramatic.
I know. That's what I'm like, don't you dare put me on the spot like that. Don't you dare. Ugh. But I've always been the type of girl that's just like, oh my God, I love you, like whatever. And that doesn't, to me, that actually means that when I say that I'm in love with somebody, it holds way more weight.
And I do think that's a clarifying
Totally.
thing, because there is, like, you can love a person.
Yes.
Romantically and platonically.
100%.
But we'll keep in the context of romantically. Like, you can love the way that they treat you. You can love the way that they have a relationship with your family. Like, you can love the things that they do and say and how they show up for you and support you. But that is, in my opinion, different than being in love with a person.
100%.
Because, and this is just my side of it, but to be in love with someone, that means you also not necessarily love or like all these other qualities, but like you are accepting of their skeletons, and you are accepting of them on their bad days and the things that they're not quite like good at, or isn't always sunshine and rainbow, because it's easy to love the good stuff, but to be in love, can you also accept the growth areas and the bad stuff?
No, 100%. Like I firmly believe that being in love with somebody means that you love them regardless of their flaws, regardless of, their crazy family, regardless of their, crazy dog that they haven't trained, or like whatever, like there's all these different nuances with different people. And I just think there's a huge difference between loving somebody as a person and being in love with somebody. And those differences, for me, that takes me quite a while to weigh out exactly how I feel.
Yeah. It also depends, like, who have you said I love you to in the past?
True.
And how did you mean it? And when did you say it? And how did you feel during it and after it? Because, like, there is familial love, there is friendship love, there's romantic love, and then you also have your past experiences, like those past relationships that you've said I love you. And again, we said try not to compare things, but obviously you're going off of your past experiences and like what was the depth of that relationship and connection versus like where you are now, and like you're like, oh, because
some people might have some like trauma associated with saying I love you too. I mean, it's, that can mean different things for different people. And I'm also talking to people who like say, you're in a relationship and you're ready to say I love you and they haven't yet. Been there, get that. And I am the type of person that will patiently wait.
And you also don't want to play games.
Right.
So because it is a little bit like, you don't want to say it too soon and like scare off the person, because like what if they're not there yet? But then you also don't want to wait too long, because then like maybe they don't think that you like them or you're like seriously in it. So it is a little bit of a,
but there's like a delicacy to it, because like I said, some people can have some kind of like trauma or like issues associated with it. Maybe they didn't hear I love you growing up in their childhood much. Maybe that was something that, was only said on rare occasions and means 10 times more to them than it does to you. Like, you have to like have the open communication through that in order to like really have like a successful moment of like saying that to each other. And sometimes there's backstories and different things, or, maybe they said I love you to somebody and they got totally rejected. Like, you have no idea what that looks like for different people. And like, I've been in relationships where, the last time they had said I love you to somebody, it fell apart within like a month after saying it. So they had a really hard time saying it again. Like, things like that. There's so many different things that could be holding people back from that I think is important to consider too.
You have to follow your gut.
Yeah.
Like, your gut won't steer you wrong.
Never.
You should only say it if you mean it, and you should never say it just because the other person is saying it.
Yeah. If you don't feel it, do not say it.
And I will say, a learning for me of like the first person who said I love you romantically, that was like a big moment.
Oh yeah, of course.
Right?
Of course like,
it is. And like, I probably stood there for like probably a good 2 minutes in silence.
Really?
Processing the significance of this.
That's huge.
But also, I needed to do my homework.
Yeah.
And this is a learning for me, and I have taken with me into future relationships, is like, I've realized as an individual, I need to know where I stand and my answer and feelings independent. So then if that person says it, I feel comfortable either reciprocating or politely, navigating that if that's like the case.
Speaking of, I think it is very important if you are somebody that, you know, wants to be the first person to say I love you, I think that's great. And I think that's really admirable. And I think if you feel it, you should say it, right? But I think that when you're saying I love you to somebody, you need to be okay and prepared for them to not say it back.
Ooh, this is good.
Yeah, because I firmly believe that if you love somebody and if you believe that you are in love with somebody, it doesn't matter if they feel that back yet, right? So just because you're ready to say it, say it. Say what you feel, say what you mean, and say it, and you know, put that love and that passion behind it. But be okay with the fact that if they're not ready to say it yet, give them that space and time to come to terms with like how they feel, right? Just like with what you're saying of like, you need to be able to process that separately. Something that a past relationship did for me, he was ready to say it and he said it. And I was shocked. And it was only like the second time I had ever been told that and heard that. And it was really big. But I will never forget, he said that to me and I looked at him and I was like, you can't say that yet. Because it was very early. And like I said, I was not prepared I was so not ready to say I love you yet. And he literally looked at me, laughed in my face and said, I can say it whenever I want to say it. And I love you, but you don't have to say it yet. And that's fine. And I was like,
what a nice way to like give permission, right? And make it okay.
Total permission. And it was one of the healthiest like relationships I've ever been in. And I'm so grateful to him for like that moment, because I did end up saying it later on and definitely felt that later on. But in that moment, I was not ready to say that. It was also like a weird moment. There was like other stuff going on in that moment where I was like, I can't even process this right now. It was crazy. But up until that point, I probably would have felt a little bit of like pressure to say it back or felt like I needed to. And having somebody give me that permission and that space to be like, you say it whenever you're ready, but I'm saying it because I'm ready. And that was like a lot of like confidence, not only that like he had, that I really, really deeply respected, but I just appreciated that he like gave me that time and space. And I think that's so important because I think a lot of people sometimes will say, I love you with the expectation that that has to be like reciprocated. And I just don't think that's true, because true love is truly unconditional and it doesn't matter if it's reciprocated.
Yeah. And everyone processes it differently. Like literally that's what we're talking about this whole time is like everyone's experiences and perspective is like completely going to like pivot and change and whatever else. For me, I learned I don't do well being put on the spot, just as like my personality in general. Same. But also like I knew that I loved that person, but I hadn't come to terms with like, oh, now I have to say the words out loud. Right. And once I say them out loud, then they're like, they're out there. It's real. And so it wasn't questioning whether or not I love the person. It was just more so accepting that like the action that comes with it, just like how it took me a little bit to be comfortable saying boyfriend, right? I was like, I absolutely want this and like feel this and like, but like to actually like say the word, I was like, that's a little uncomfy.
Right. Well, that's why like in the instance I'm talking about, I literally was like, you can't say that yet. That was my gut reaction was like, I'm not ready for that. What are you doing? Like, you know, and so it's like, if you're not ready, I think that's okay. But if you're going to be the person that is going to say it first, be okay if they aren't ready to say that yet. Like you can't, I don't think there's anything worse than somebody saying that and then getting mad at you because you're not ready to reciprocate that
There's
yet.
also a lot of preliminary conversations and stuff that I think happen prior to. So like, as long as it's not, you're completely on opposite ends, like I don't think it'd be too much of a surprise. Like, plus people be like, I really, really like you. Yeah. And you're like, right. You know, like, but how much do you really, really like me? Or they're like, I really care about you.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, okay.
Or they get like googly eyes around you and you're like,
the googly eyes are always a good tell. It's always a good tell.
You're like, I know what you're feeling. Even though you don't have to say it.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
But then also like, are they showing up for you in their actions, in their commitments, in like those other, everything outside of literally saying, I love you, right? Like, I knew my boyfriend loved me months
you
before
did.
that he said it, because I felt it.
Right.
I felt it.
It's a feeling. It's not a word. It's a feeling.
In his actions and how he was there for me in literally every way you can without explicitly saying, I love you.
Yeah.
So like when he said it, I'm like, yeah, I know.
I know.
Obviously I said it back, but you know, like it was not a surprise.
Yeah.
I was like, yep.
But you knew that you loved him for a while before you said it too.
For sure. And like, I think that's part of it too, of like, you can feel it, you can sit with it, but it doesn't mean you have to like say
right
it
away.
either. Because maybe you just need time to like
Process.
confirm, or, you know, just be like, yep, this is how I feel. Because it does allow for this shift in the relationship as well, which can kind of be a little daunting if you're like, okay, here we go, you know. So
you know what's funny? I will never forget when I realized that I loved Logan, because it was about 6 months before I said it. And I specifically remember we had like, I was out with some friends or something, and he and I had like some kind of, and this was early on in dating, we had some kind of little tiff, right? Like we were like, not like a full blown fight, but we had some kind of like disagreement or whatever. And I was like out with friends. I had been having adult beverages. And I remember I was like really upset that we were like having this disagreement. I was like really, really emotional about it and really upset. And I remember saying that to one of my best friends that night. I remember I told her that I loved him. And we like woke up the next morning and she was making coffee and she was like, do you want to talk about what you said last night? And I was like, no. And we just didn't talk about it for like months. But she knew that I loved him and I knew that I loved him, but I wasn't ready to say it yet. And I had to sit with those feelings.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget that. I deeply appreciated my friend too for literally pouring that cup of coffee and being like, cool, we don't have to talk about it until you're ready.
Yeah.
We're good. I was like, all right. So I'll never forget that. You know, it's like you tend to kind of remember the feelings of like when you first felt that. And I think that's very special and very important.
Yeah. So go with your gut, do what feels right, recognize that like everyone's experiences, past and present, are going to be different. And so just like honoring those and do what you feels right. But if you want to share with us how long it took you to...
Yeah, because we're nosy. I'm crazy and I like can't commit or like say it until quite a while. Like I take a long time to process my
college roommate,
stuff.
she was dating her now husband. I think it was like a year and a half before they said,
wow,
I love you.
Okay, that's next level.
I think that's the longest.
I'm not that crazy.
And then I know people have said it like second or third date.
That freaks me out. I'm so sorry. But I would also love to hear the success stories.
That's what I'm saying. So where do you fit on the...
I do find it wildly interesting when some couples are like super successful and they knew and were like all in, I love you on like date 3, date 2, whatever. Like I'm so fascinated by that because like could never be me, has never been me. Like, but I find it so interesting that couples who just like knew.
I do think you could have moments of like knowing that you like
oh yeah, intuition,
fondness for this person, you're compatible with this person, but like to be truly like in love with someone is to know all parts of them, both good and bad, and still be accepting and loving of them as a whole package.
Oh yeah. I mean, I knew really, really early on with Logan. I was like, something's different about this one. This one's special. I don't know why. I don't know what, but I know that I'm supposed to be with him at this moment in time. And like, I think you get those gut feelings, you get those gut downloads of just like, this is right for right now. You just don't always know if it's forever, if it's true love, or if it's real, or like whatever, you know, and that just comes with time.
Yep.
Just comes with time.
Yep.
So.
But there you guys have it. Happy Valentine's Day, love month, love season, all that fun stuff. But
all the mushy gushy stuff.
As always, let us know if you enjoyed the episode in the comments on Spotify, YouTube. You can drop us a comment. We do try and like get back to you eventually. You can follow the podcast at the Wild Type Podcast. Like we said, you can get the merch online or in our expos. You can follow me everywhere, Neptune the Chameleon.
And me everywhere at Listless Lizards.
Otherwise, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll catch you in the next one.
Bye, girlies.